Morning, the stadium has never stopped. We didn't have time to have a bit of lunch, and it's so well organised that they've been able to roster it on. So when the shearing judges are having a bit of time off to go and have some lunch, well, the wool handlers are in action, and pressing is going on as well. We'd like to welcome into the studio Rob Evans from Tikokino in Central Hawke's Bay. Rob is the senior manager there at the Smedley Training Farm. So Rob, welcome along to the Golden Shears for the year 2019. And look, I've singled you out really because you're a man that leads from the front. I've just seen you shearing in the heats. How did you go?
Don't really know what happened around me, but just got in and had a go, so it was good.
Well, that's what they say. You lead from the front, and you certainly do that. So, Smedley Station, how many trainees have you got there?
We've got 22 on the ground now, so 11 first year, 11 second year. So.
Do you have to have a tutor for every trainee?
No, we've got, I think it's about 10 staff on the ground. So, varying from fencing to the workshop and tractors to stock and block managers and 2 cooks and a training manager who looks after all the theory side. So,
okay.
Yeah, pretty busy.
And how long is the course for a trainee?
2 years. So you come in your first year and learn all your general skills, your fencing and building and handpiece work and tractor driving and mechanics and all that sort of stuff. And then the second year you come with a broken in hunterway ready to get on a horse and chase sheep. So.
Still ride horses on Smedley?
Yep. Yeah, still a big part of what we do. We've tried to add a little bit of technology into what we do, but keep hold of our traditional stock stuff and horses and that are a big part of that. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, we follow Smedley. Well, it's just up the road from good old Dannyverk, and we watch and we go to field days and we see the boys fencing and here. And you've brought 14 trainees down to the Golden Shears, and they've all taken part.
Yeah, we've got 11 cadets. We've got 10 second years and 1 first year, and there's three of our staff. How to go? So.
And I see one of your boys is qualified for the novice final.
Yeah. Taylor Locke. He's from Dannyverk. He's qualified. I think he's qualified number 1 for the novice final.
He top qualified for the final.
I think he's top qualified. So we had another boy was in the semis. So it's been a good day.
Do you have anybody in the novices?
Yeah, and we had. So there would have been 9 competed in the novice at the start and 2. Cadets and the juniors, plus 2 staff, and then myself and the intermediates.
Wow, well, it's a great place. And how easy it is to get into Smedley?
No, it's not easy. There's a process. I think this year's 11 we've got came from 80 applications. So there's a bit of a process, and you got to come to open day and see what it's all about, and then interview and show us that this is where you want to be, and show a bit of passion for the agriculture, and that you want to get in, get your hands dirty and get on with it.
You're obviously part of the selection committee?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, would you take foreigners?
We've got an act of parliament, so we're sort of restricted to that, and one of the parts of that is that it got to be New Zealand citizens. So.
I asked that question, Rob, because there's a lot of foreigners here at the moment, and there was a couple of young boys, and they were talking about how do we get on and get involved with Smedley, because it's not easy to get into, is it?
No, it's not, and when it was gifted to the Crown, part of that stipulation there was New Zealand young people, and so that's what we're stuck with.
Good old Aotearoa people.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and sharing a little bit of that. And we do know that the training side of is a little unsettled, but I'm sure out of it will rise a phoenix and we'll have a really good thing. But that's not really bothering you guys at the moment, is it?
No, that doesn't seem to worry us too much. We're pretty comfortable and pretty happy where we are and what we're doing. So we're just moving forward. And
so do the guys get level 3s and 4s out of this with you?
We do a level 3 and 4 with EIT, so they spend 1 day a week in the classroom, and they get some of their level 3 in the first year and level 4 in the second year. So.
Yeah, because I do know that when your guys are starting to graduate, there's 4 jobs for them, really, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, is there anybody back at the station that's been watching today? I'm sure, or there's half of them are back there now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I think the juniors are supposed to be in a lecture, so they're probably watching. Few staff, so yeah, hope it's all going well back at the station.
Well, the World Wide Web is beaming live, and somewhere around between 70 and 100,000 view it over the time. So you've put Smedley on the map, and thank you very much for coming in and talking to us.
No worries. Thank
you. Cool. Thank you very much there, folks, and we'll go back to the stadium. Thank you, Toby.
Across the skin instead of bubbling it up. Menzies down the number 6. 3 shots. They're going for the 3 shots. He's a big sheep over the back end. What you call a chiseled type of sheep. They're narrower in the shoulder and wide in the back end, and that's good for breeding purposes. Out the last leg now comes the Wairarapa Brown. Just rolls that leg up and the fluff just flies off of the bottom of those 13 teeth. A couple of extra shots just to make sure he didn't miss that leftover undermined wool on as he brings out sheep number 4. Judges go along in a regular change. Still very good scoring up there, low scoring, and that's on the board points. That is exceptional. Great shearing. Amazing to see what we're going to get when we get into the higher classes. Maybe we'll get some duck eggs, what we call a 0-0. Jackie Paku now comes up over the top. Working away, sheep number 3. Still got a little bit of work in front of her. Turning onto the last side. There's Ryan Addison down on stand number 5. Across the shoulder of the Welshman. Over the shoulder and down and out to the flank for Mitchell. Down on the far end. Peoria Manaraw here on the front stand. Sheep number 4 on the board. Sheep number 4. Toyo Rossell. The Spanish man comes around the back of the head, making it look easy. That handpiece is just floating off at the bottom of his arm. But the pace still going now. Here on stand number 5. Stand number 4. The pace from Wairarapa Brown over the shoulder on the money side of the sheep. Another one out for Ryan Addison. The 4th and final for him. So the pressure. No worries for him as he comes down the last side. Wairarapa Brown just swooping it out with every shot. Grabs a little bit of skin and rolls it into the palm of his hand and hangs on for the dear left as he comes down that last side. Gets it out in just a shade over 7 minutes. What a great shear from the Martin Borough lad, by crikey. He's happy enough. He has a look at his score. He says, well, I've done my best. He's got an average of 1.3 second cuts, and by golly, that tells the story. That tells the story. Jackie Paku now, 4th and final sheep on the board. Peoria Manarawa, over the last side he comes. Hey, some people worry about spelling this man's name or pronouncing it. Well, I go fishing off the Peoria Road up in Taranaki, so it's quite easy as he comes down the last side. Got a few fish there last week too, I might tell you, you South Islanders.
Well, where is it?
Oh,
where is it?
Used. It's all used. Over the last leg he comes now. Ekarahuna can be proud. Shown very well. Got a 1.5 on the board. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, still a little bit of work to do down on stand 5 and 6. That sheep says, I'm not finished with you yet, young Mitchell Menzies. I'll give you a little bit of a curry up on that last side. Very close to the trucking arena out there. You're going across to the barbecue at the Horseshoe. But he gets the wool off and the sheep survives. Down the porthole it goes. Still got one more heat to go on this one, Norm.
Yep, one more heat.
As we're coming out the last leg. Down the hole now for Ryan Addison. Jackie Parker's got, half the sheep shorn. Doing very well after a difficult first sheep. Blamed the hand beast, but it was just a very fiery sort of an animal. She's got it under control, and she's coming over that last side now. Gerald, things going pretty well for you. We'll come to you very shortly as we come down and out the last leg.
So last leg it is for Jackie Pucker. Just you were just saying you've been fishing, John. I just recall a salmon fishing competition was on the weekend, and one of the biggest salmon I've ever heard of being caught this weekend by a one-armed fisherman. It was this big. Big bloody salmon, I'll tell you that. Well done. Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Heat number 6. Trust Out sponsored the event. And we will get heat 7 on the board, please. Braden Clifford on stand 6. Matthew Hunt on 5. Tan Hollis on 4. Keith Swan on 3. Kyle Stevens-Mitter on stand number 2. Ruben Alabaster on stand 1. Up you go, boys.
All right, thanks, Norm. So we've got Cody Short. It's quite good keeping it busy anyway. These young novice don't need a whole lot of pressure or added pressure to them. Just let them do their work at a steady old pace. But again, a couple local boys here. Okay, Cody Short working for Paddy Mason from Masterton. This Paddy has a whole lot of staff working for him. He's must bring a bit of money towards Masterton, that young fella. And Waimeo here, having a bit of a tidy up. He was doing a bit of labouring here and there around the place. And went into the sheds just 6 months ago. He thought I might have a go at this pressing and shearing thing. And he just told me before he got going here, he was enjoying it. He's just loving the shed work and the shed life and the camaraderie and everything that goes with the hard graft of the wool industry in general. But here he is.
So I'll just interrupt you there, Gerald. We've got a green light. We'll get these guys on the board. We'll set them alight. This is the last heat in the Trust House sponsored intermediate shearing. And another 4 of these beautiful sheep from Butte Farm. Big thanks to Nick Balfour out there at Butte Farm. I'll get these guys started off because John McBride's choking on fish bones. I'm probably not going to choke on any fish bones because he didn't bring many fish after his fishing trip. Thanks very much, John, for that. Out on the board, guys, please. Let's get rolling. Heat number 7. It is. Everyone's at the door. Thumbs up from the referee. Thank you. Timekeeper's ready. Competitors set, go. And away we go, John McBride. Heat number 7, the last of the Trust House intermediate heats up on the board, vying for a spot in the